Hey guys, welcome back. We had locals today, and it was 2v2, so my partner and I became second. We lost to the finals, which was kind of sad, but it was a fun event. It was a good event. I really wanted to. I played a different deck today as opposed to last week, and the reason why I did the change was for two things. I really wanted to go back to back winning locals undefeated with two different decks, and it was just going to be like the flex that I could do. But the score, we only had 3 rounds because again it was 2v2, so that did cut down on our rounds. But it was 2 wins, and then in the last game I had a double loss because it went into time. But even if it didn't go into time, that game, I think it was a losing game. I didn't really have a way to win that game. But sadly, that game there, my opponent, not my partner, sadly, in his game, he couldn't push through for the win because he was on pure Mitsurugi. And when you need Mitsurugi to do what it does best, it does it. And in the final, he bricked. And it is what it is. It was still a really enjoyable event. It was the first time I got to play with with him as my partner, and things normally we go up against each other. So it was a lot of fun. I'll just go through my deck. Um, I'll I'll do the deck profile as fast as I can, and I also need, but I also really want to give like some thoughts on what I should change. Then I'll talk to you about my matchups, and then I'll also give you a little heads up on like what I feel the future is for this deck and for the game and the next meta. So let's try get through this as quick as possible. So I played Yamimitsu today, and I would say this is quite as close to budget as you can make it. There's a lot of yummy cards that there's only like marshmallows like the only really expensive one, and I don't have marshmallows, so I did design the deck without marshmallows. If you do have marshmallows, there are changes that you would make to the deck ever so slightly, but I think in this deck you could possibly get away with 2 marshmallow if it is a budgeting issue. For me, beyond the budgeting issue for marshmallow, it's just genuinely a scarcity issue. It's so short printed that there's almost zero in circulation. Like, so many people are still waiting for marshmallows, which is kind of sad, but it is what it is. So I'll go through the yummy core or what I played. Number one, we'll go Raja 3 Kapsi. This is mandatory whether you play with the marshmallow or not. It is your starter. It's probably the best one. Because I don't have marshmallow, I went 3 cookie, 3 lolly. If I had the marsh, I would possibly look to doing probably something like this. It'll look like this. It'll be 3 marshmallow and then 2 1. I think that would be the best ratio. Or it might even be something like this, and I might only play 7. That's 8 yummy names. Yeah, 3, 6, 7, 8. 8 yummy names. But if you don't have marsh, then your best way and the most consistent way is this. Because any yummy name is full yummy and full Mitsurugi combo. So you just want to have the most opportunity to full combo. So that's it. Then for the spells, to surprise, Again, it's just because Marshmallow's not in the deck. If Marshmallow's in the deck, you probably could play this at 1, since you could recycle it. But even if you did have Marsh, I'd still recommend you possibly look to playing 2 of these, because it really assists so much. And you must remember, you can use each one of these effects. So if you're just using the 1 to Marshmallow Reborn, Marshmallow effect, bring this back to hand, and then on your opponent's turn, maybe you're going to try go surprise to bounce to tribute, and then synchro, and then if they play again, you bring back the marsh, add this back to hand. It's a little weird, but I think you should still play 2 even if you are playing marshmallows. And then 1 Mingyon. In this build, you don't play a croaky. You don't need a croaky. You could side a croaky, but it's not important. And then for the other main engine is the Mitsurugis. So 3 pre-prep. Again, pre-prep is full combo. I built this deck to be as hyper consistent as it could be. I cut out as much of the bricks as I could, and genuinely speaking, the deck was hyper consistent. I didn't brick, and even when I did draw awkward hands, it was still full combo hands. This deck was playing through so much of hand traps and so many forms of interruption that I think this is roughly a good place to be. And then for the Mitsurugi, we'll keep going with the Mitsurugi. So 3 pre-prep, and then you play 3 of the best boy, Habakiri. And then now you're playing the Mitsu bricks, sort of. So play just Ame and Saji. I didn't play. I used to be on Kusanagi. I used to be on Aramasa. Just cut it, put it in the binder, especially if you're playing this build. You draw them, it becomes very awkward. It becomes very weird in your hands. So even if you draw something like Habakiri and Saji, it still is awkward. But you kind of can get away with it because Saji has 1,000 attack, which you would be knowing you play Almiraj in a Yami deck. There's some normal Saji effect add, make Almiraj and you play, is not the worst. It's not great, but it's certainly not like the worst that you could do. Like before, if you're playing Futso, Aramasa, Kusanagi, and all these other things, great purification in the main, you can draw a completely unplayable hand, and which is something I'm going to show you why I decided to cut all of this and make it so much smoother. So for the Mitsurugi monsters, quick again: 3 Haba, 1 Ame, 1 Saji. That is it. No more Mitsurugi monsters. Mitsurugi spells, 3 prayers. Someone told me prayers is not a true 1-card combo in this deck, and they are right. It isn't a 1-card, pure 1-card combo, but it's pretty close, and it's such a strong card. You should be playing it. And then 1 mirror, 1 ritual spell. Just 1. You don't need 2. It's already so expensive. I don't know why you want to make a budgety deck, a budget tier 1 deck, all of a sudden like ridiculously expensive. So please, you already have to pay 3 marshmallow. Now you want to pay 2 rituals. It's a lot. So that's it for the core. I'll just spread it out here, if you guys can possibly see. So you all can see all of the both of the cores next to one another. Yeah, something like that. So that's the core. This here is your whole Yamimitsu deck. The rest is now interchangeable, but I'll go through what I did. I also played the Sky Striker engine. I cut this engine originally because I wanted to have more extra deck utility, but I realized that consistency is so key in this deck, because if you can full combo and full board, I would I've only ever lost today. I actually haven't. I have not lost in so long if I had full comboed with my Yami Mitsurugi board. It is that strong. It is an extremely, extremely powerful end board. But it is susceptible. It can be broken, but it still has that follow-up and takes so much for them to break. So I went for the 3 engage, 1 Hornet. Again, just for more starters. Full combo. Full combo. And then, yeah. And then let's go for the hand traps. I did something you've seen quite for some time now, getting 3 Flua, 3 Ash, and 3 Droll. I'm a strong believer of a 7-to-3 ratio. So what that means is, for every 7 cards in my deck, I like to play 3 hand traps. So in a deck of 40, I'm expecting 3, 6, 9, 12 hand traps. So the next set would normally be Imperm. So that would be the 3, 6, 9, 12. But I've somewhat moved away from that, especially in this deck, because I felt like Imperm wasn't that great of a card in this deck or in this format. It's a very hard card to use because it doesn't end turns, and I'd rather just play unfair hand traps to do that. And because I main decked Droll, which is purely this deck's, I wouldn't say hardest hand trap. The Droll is the only thing that stops the board from becoming totally unfair. And I want to make the board as unfair, and I want to make the deck as resilient. So because I main decked the Droll, I took out the Imperm, and I then went for 1 Crossout, 1 Talent, 1 Call By. All of them are limited. So this would be Imperm, and then I took out the Imperm for them. Again, let's say they try to do something, and I can cross out the Droll, I can Call By the Droll, cross out the Flua. It just helps. And even if they do Flua me, you can end on a very small half board, and then Talons look at hand, and then just rip a card, because then after they Flua draw, you're probably giving them 1, possibly 2 Flua draws, which is +1, and then rip 1, so they just go up 1, but you get hand knowledge. So yeah, those are it. I do recommend that you guys give this a try. It's a very, very fun lineup to do and to use. There was a guy that played at YCS. Anaheim was the one that Schiff got FTK'd in the top 8. So in the second place guy, he played this lineup, and it was something that I was testing out and thinking of. And when I saw him playing it, I'm like, yeah, that settles it. Main deck count is 41. It is 41 because there are bricks, there are soft bricks and hard bricks in the deck. So just going above 40 helps mitigate the bricking issue. But I wanted to have like as much of really good cards as possible in the deck. And I really wanted to limit the absolute terrible unplayable. And this is like the only real brick. But yeah, 41. Let's go into the extra 3 Snatchy. So you could play 2. You do burn through 2 in your first combo. So I like having the third just as like a safety net, because people really target this card with so much hatred, getting rid of it, banishing it and things. So I felt like 3 just made it a little bit more safer, more insulated. And the thing is, with this deck, you burn through so much of the extra deck resources that having this really does assist you. That the third one in a grindier game, if it ever gets to a weird game state. But you could play two. There's arguments to it. Uh, but I like the 3. And then Almiraj, it's mandatory. Gravity controller, some people are cutting it because they believe you don't need it. I think this card is very good. I don't make it as often as you would think, even though I'm playing Yamimitsu. I actually used the gravity controller like twice today, which is fine. But you use it like when things get really awkward. This comes up when they start hand trapping you with like 3 or sometimes even 4 hand traps, which this deck can play through 4 hand traps. That's when you start going into those weird awkward lines where you might need a controller to do something. And then since I'm playing the Striker engine, we went Kagari. This is a flex spot, Link Spider. Some people don't play it, some people play it. I actually do like the Link Spider because when I play this deck, I want you to nib me. I want to force the nib. I want to force the ash. I want to force your hand traps. I want to put you in a position where you have fewer cards in hand without you realizing it. Because once I deplete the hand limit, I just need to bring back army. And then one army is enough to put so much pressure because now you have to keep discarding. That discarding effect, making you discard, it becomes so problematic when you start with a 5-card hand, and let's say you throw an ash, it didn't do anything. You throw a I don't even know what you try. You throw ash, you throw imperm, didn't do anything. You threw a nip, didn't do anything. Now you only got 2 cards in hand. You draw for turn, that's 3 cards. You activate 1 card, you have to lose 2. You're playing with 1 card, it automatically just becomes so quick that you lose advantage. That's why I played this, because I want to have enough ways to insulate myself to still build a board through nib. And this is how you're able to do that. And also because you have to sort of burn through surprise in your combo in this deck. So the whole thing of just use surprise to play through it doesn't work so perfectly and easily in this build, especially because you also don't have marshmallow. And then SP is probably one of the most important cards in this deck, because you can use the SP to bridge into the Mitsurugi part by getting rid of the Herald and something else to make their SP. And so I see some people playing IP. I like the IP into Gorgon line. I also know about the Azalea line, the Hayate line, and all those are really cool in practice. But the thing is, it's difficult to get some of those cards, especially in South Africa. But if you have them, it's just all about tinkering and playing around. There's no Luna Lights in my locals for me to really start building and tailoring my deck to that. So I think this was perfect, the way it is. So those are the links. Quick one onto that. I believe that this is as mandatory as you can get in the deck. Link Spider is optional, but this year you have to play it if you're playing this deck. Then we're gonna go one of each of the synchros. I only got one. Super rare. In combo, you burn through these 2. This stays in the extra, so you can bring it out on your opponent's turn. And when you bring it out on your opponent's turn, one of them go back one of these two will go back into the extra. Almost always I would rebond Cupsy because Cupsy is the one that gives you the most follow-up. So I would go into Cupsy, tag out, bring 2, summon this, use this effect, book 2, tag out, bring another 2 in. Which you just kind of play from there. But yeah, that's the Yami engine. And then this is the Herald engine. Samsara, Matcha, and Herald. Herald is limited, but in this deck you can loop Herald only twice, which is not great. But it is what it is. You can only get a double Herald on a person. How you do it is with this. So you would make the Herald, and when it's goes to grave or so, you can use Samsara to put the Herald back to revive it, and then this can quick sync on your opponent's turn, but you can also just like hard sync it and then make the Herald again, and when it's gets banished. The Matcha allows you to have an extra body on board, and in some hands you can use the Matcha and another body to make SP. And then Zombie Vamp, the bridge. 2 8s, make this, move 4, and you go. I really go into this. I go into this a lot, especially if I know like my opponent's deck has a lot of one-offs. It needs it. It may not be the most consistent deck or the most streamlined deck. Then I'm just gonna zombie vampire and mill and be like, I hope you got cards, me bro. I milled the guy's Futso, and his Futso and his Futso Kusanagi, and I think I milled a mirror and some other thing, and he's like, oh god. He doesn't know what to do. I'm like, ah, shot, bro. Let's go. So that's main side. No, that's extra decks. This is the side deck. 2 Storm Purification. It's Omni Negate. I kind of like it if I'm going first in game 3. The reason why I say game 3 is because I always feel that game 1 I should win, even if I lose the die roll, because the deck's power is so high that I should be able to make it awkward enough to just win on the game 1. And yeah, game 2 I always view as like, if you win it, you win it. If you don't win it, you get whitewashed and you go into game 3. So this is for that. I played Bell because I wanted to out the Draco Tails and make it a little bit easier for myself. Played 3 Nib. I just didn't know what to really put in. I'm really finding it hard to side deck, and I just wanted to nib boards that I felt like were getting too insane or too much. Because if I nib them and they can't re-establish a board, then just one Murukumo board wipe is enough. And then I put back the Lancia. I never used it. I specifically put this for James. But it's also because like it low-key just it's with D-Barrier gone, I think like this is probably something you want to put back. Malice is back on the uptick, and it helps for that match. And then yeah, and then I played the 3 Retaliating Sea again for Draco Tail. This is probably coming out. You could go look into Denko Sekka, especially in this deck for a side deck option for Draco Tail. But I don't think Retaliating Sea is that great into Draco Tail. Like if I like playing the deck Draco Tail, I began to see like how you can play through the Retaliating Sea and around it. Probably make a video on that if you guys need. Or probably I'll make it for myself so I can see. But yeah, this was um, the side deck. I really, I really think the siding needs some work. Maybe judgment can come back, or warnings, something to look at. But yeah, um, let's do my quick thoughts on the deck. The deck is strong. The deck is hyper consistent. I've cut out most of the bricks that I could. In terms of the main deck, the real change is possibly the the droll. I think droll in the main is not ideal. But when it comes to this build, you you could I don't know, my phone just decided to go blank. In terms of this, you could droll. I still think droll is good in this deck specifically because we're playing the cross out the call by the talents. So it does help. But I might do something like maybe put the cross out talent call by in the side, or maybe keep call by the grave and talent, move the cross out, take the cross out, take the droll out, put ghost bell in, and then play the deck at a 40. That's something I could do. So yeah, matchups today. Game 1 was against Draco Tail Branded. It was against Ayush, which he watched my YouTube video. So bro knew all the tricks on how to cook me. And I was absolutely, I was like, oh god, why am I going up against myself? It became a mirror match without playing the same deck. Yeah, that was a very hard game. I'm not going to lie. The game with Ayush, I got super polyed, and I'm like, yeah, he knows super poly cook. How I won that game? Actually, he game 1. We went into game 3, and I built the full. No, I didn't build the full Mutsu board. I built most of the Yami Mutsu board, but it wasn't enough because my herald just got super polyed so fast, and I'm like, oh, problems. But game 1, how he lost was a small misplay by him, but I think it was more to the fact that he mistook what was happening. So I used ritual, Mitsu ritual to ritual from deck. So I attributed the Habakiri from hand and summoned the army. And then I went, even though he had no board, I went Habakiri 1, army 2 to Rageki the board because he was special summoned. And he then went chain mag on the Habakiri. And I'm like, huh? And I'm like, okay. And at that point, ironically, that still kind of hurts because when that goes, I'm gonna add this mirror that does nothing. So I'm just like, okay, that's fine. And then, so the Habakiri goes, the mag summons, the mag gets blown up. I don't even know if I used Ame to blow up the board, but anyway, the Habakiri goes, and then the mag comes out, and I'm just like, okay, I just add prayers, and I'm like, I don't really know what to do here because that was my line to go into the zombie vampire. And I'm like, okay, I just ended up playing Habakiri Army Control until I could get into combo next turn. But where the issue came was, I think he believed that Habakiri was using its effect to come back, as opposed to Habakiri using its effect to add when tributed, which means that he misplayed over there. But it was really worrisome because had he allowed the Habakiri to add the mirror, and once I went mirror tribute army to bring Habakiri out, and on a new chain I'm gonna go army to add back the prayers and reborn itself. If he mags me there, I am cooked. There is nothing. He's just dealing with Habakiri and a dream. And in his game state, with him adding Mululu and things, it's just GG's on the spot. So huge congrats to Ayush. He was probably the hardest opponent I've versed today, without a doubt. I've been playing this deck a lot, and probably that was one of the harder games I've had. So yeah, that one went into a game 3. It was unfortunate that he kind of bricked in the game 3, and I was able to push. And when I spoke to him and we looked at the side deck for him, we realized where the issue came in from bricking. But it is that you live and you learn. Next game was against Mags on Crystron Cyber Dragon. No. What I'm saying, Chris, it was on K9 Cyber Dragon. I win the die roll. I go first. Game 1, I put up the full board, everything and so much more. All the colors of the rainbow is there, and this butcher just goes Clockwork Knight, and I'm like, oh shit, oh, half my board going away. So when he went Clockwork Knight, I was like, okay, at this point already, Habakiri, he impumped my Herald, and I'm like, yeah, it is what it is. I've already armade, forced the hand rip. I've already tagged out a few yummies, played a little bit, and then all I just have is SP and army, and I'm like, oh god. And my biggest worry was, this guy can potentially go infinity suck up my army, and when that happens, I'm in a really bad problem, because I can't really protect this army easily, because he can just contact fuse the SP away also. So I was really worried about that, and I'm like, I don't really know what I'm to do here. But he activates an effect, and I'm like, okay, quickly get this army and SP off the borders with haste. So I go SP, target itself army, get them out, and I'm like, at least I know that army is coming back. I can play with that for the next turn, because I'm burning so much of his hand resources. Eventually his end board is a 5,000 odd, 5,000 or 6,000 mega fleet, not mega fleet, fortress dragon, and a K9 monster, and I'm like, oh gosh, this is problems. And I just have a prayers and a surprise set, and I got, he's on Clockwork Knight and things. But Clockwork Knight only affects the monsters that are on field. I did check on that part. And then surprise will allow you to reborn a special summon one yummy monster from your hand or graveyard, but he cannot attack directly this turn. So he goes for the attack with the rampage, with the fortress, and I'm like, surprise summon, block the attack, take the direct attack of the K9 monster. Main phase 2, he makes SP, and I'm like, cool, whew, we survive. End phase, my SP and my army come back. I draw for turn, I got full combo and more. I'm just like, hey bro, don't overthink it, don't overdo much, just gonna go battle phase. Army, hit this SP attack directly. Main phase 2, set main phase, I had Fluha roll and some other thing. I'm just like, summon, pass. So I could just use the SP to, I could use the SP to target his monster, and the monster I summoned, banish, and then army to force a hand drop, if he could play through it. He couldn't, and I'm like, whew, right, let's go. Win that game. Game 2. Go game 2. I'm fully expecting to go second, so I side deck to go second, and he hits me with the line, you go first. And I'm like, oh, that's a bit wild. So I draw. I have my 5 cards, and I'm like, in my hand, I'm like, I can full combo here, but my concern is if I full combo, there's the chance of me just getting obliterated with a few hand traps or some board breakers. Because I didn't side in like to stop the board breakers, and I'm like, pass. Let's see if he can play, because I had Flua, Ash, and things. And no, I had Ash and Flua and something else. So he goes uh, chaotic elements, and I'm like, Ash, and he's like, oh, that's bad. And I'm like, I survive. I can OTK him. I was wrong. The other 5 cards he had in hand were just summon, case for K9, clockwork knight, attack for game. I'm like, oh, that's wild. Game 3, I go there. I don't side out my cards, and I'm like, I think I'll hit him with the reverse. I'll tell him to go first, and because he can't really, it's good at breaking a board, but it's also really strong putting up a board. So my whole game plan was like, if I lose, I lose. It is that. I'm gonna send him first, and if he can build a board, he can build the board. But if I draw the hand traps and I can stop the board, I win on the spot. So I draw Flua, I draw Ash. I have Bell. I said, let's go. He normal summons 1 Sayak, 1 Chimera or so, and I'm like, right, I know where this is going. I Flua the guy. He gives me a few Flua draws, but his end board is Infinity, Clockwork Knight, no Ripper, Clockwork Knight, something else. Clockwork Knight, the spell card, and Clockwork Knight, the link monster. He goes Izuna summon, Izuna dump. I ash the Izuna, so I'm trying to keep him off the lupus and off potential Ripper, which I did do, and I'm like, right, we Gucci, because Ripper's not really that great into the Yamimitsu because there's so many. The hand effects you're using are so strong, and there's very little grave effects. So on my turn we go. I start off with the Sky Striker engine with the Horner drones, and from the drones I end up making SP, and I SP banish the Clockwork Knight, the continuous spell, and he doesn't chain the Infinity. So I'm like, perfect. So once that goes, I'm like, I'm no longer I'm no longer machine locked. I can now go into Yami combo. But before I went into Yami combo, I wanted to test the waters and see what was cutting. So I go Habakiri, and he Infinity negates the Habakiri and destroys it, and I'm like, sure, yeah, that's expected. And then from the Habakiri, being now the Infinity negate is gone, I chain the SP to get rid of itself and the Clockwork Knight. So then my EMZB comes free again. I then go Yami combo, go into Yami combo, put up a whole lot of Yami names, and then just go battle phase, break the board to get rid of everything that I could get rid of. And then because I can't attack directly with SP, so I just needed to out the board. and then that ate up a hand trap or two, and then go main phase 2. From the Yummy, I went into the Herald line, and then from the Herald line, I used it to add a ritual spell. And then from that, I ended up still going further. I added a ritual monster, I added army, and then I still went a little bit further, and I use prayers to add Saji, normal Saji effect, add ritual, and then make Almarajan go back into Yummy combo, which was so insane, but it was so much of fun. It was like really, really cool doing like something of that sort, which makes this deck fun. That's how you can really play some fun things. But yeah, and then game 3, I was going up against Mitsurugi Megalith. I don't know what that deck does. I still don't know what that deck does. But he was playing Futsu, I wasn't. I never saw the Megalith, but the game became really grindy and long, and there was a lot of misplays by me too. I wasn't recycling my mirror. I don't know why, but it happens. And then that one ended up in a double loss. So yeah, couldn't go back to back, but second place, it's fine. Thoughts on the deck going forward? I don't think this is the best deck in the format anymore. I do believe Draco Tail is actually the best deck, and I do believe that it is the best deck going forward. Yeah, but this deck is strong. It is a lot of fun. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. It was a very long one today. Next week, I'm probably gonna go back on Draco Tail, but within this week, I really want to make like a small update to my Draco Tail deck and see how it goes, and probably give my thoughts on that deck next week. So yeah, guys, take care. Wish you all of the best. Stay safe and peace.